right, a beautiful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Rose Blossom. Of course, it's an exciting day because we have an in-house guest. Of course, this time around, the Zoom guest. So yes, you're welcome to the show. It's Rock from Monday through Friday, and we're streaming live on our YouTube channel at Galaxy TV News. So you can just, type in Galaxy TV News on your YouTube and you watch us live. And also, if you are on transit or probably you're not close to a TV screen and you still want to watch every live program on Galaxy TV live, you can actually download Galaxy Television app from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store. Type in Galaxy Television and download that app to watch us live. You're welcome again, as usual. Of course, I'm going to introduce my guest first because she's in the studio. It's not a Zoom guest, so yeah. I'll do the honors of introducing an amazing person. Of course, it's not the first time being on the show, and she has always been dishing great, amazing advice. But this time around, we're going into something very interesting. It's going to be bombastic. But anyways, she's an American. Her name is Michelle Adesanya. Of course, okay, I'm not going to skip the middle. Michelle Toby Adesanya, before I get sued. Okay, she's an entrepreneur, the creative director of Alina Creations. She is a coach. She is a women's advocate. Also, she's the founder of Life and Relationship Matters. Welcome to the show, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm so good. So good to be here again.
It's good to have you again. Good morning. And this is the first time this year I'm seeing you, right?
Yes.
So Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Happy Valentine's in arrears.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's exciting to be here. Usually before we go into what we have for today, and what we're talking about today is how to attract, build, and sustain a healthy relationship. Remember, it's three things in one. You are going to attract a healthy relationship. You would build that healthy relationship. And at the same time, you have to sustain that healthy relationship. Because trust me, you can attract, you can build, and end up losing that relationship. So we're here for you, and Michelle is here for you. But let's quickly go for a tip. And this tip is more of a relationship tip, and it's just to maintain a good relationship. How you can actually maintain good relationship with people at your office, wherever you are. You can still be a good keeper of relationship. And of course, who knows, you could be a coach one day. Let's quickly go for this tip, and when we come back, we'll be talking about how to attract, build, and sustain a healthy relationship with Michelle Toby Adesanya. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Tips on relationship. Building and maintaining healthy relationship is an important part of looking after our mental health. Here are 6 top tips to support you with yours. The first tip is get to know yourself. Take the time to appreciate yourself and get in touch with your emotions to be able to express yourself clearly and more effectively. Not knowing how to regulate your emotions and express them healthily can negatively affect your mental well-being. Number 2, put in the work. Healthy relationships are not found but built. A healthy relationship needs commitment and willingness to be accommodating to each other's needs. Number 3, set and respect boundaries. Setting boundaries is not only about what you don't like or what you don't want in your relationships, but also about letting the people around you know what you appreciate. Think about and let others know where your boundaries are, respecting your time alone, for example. Doing this can take the pressure off your relationship to commit to anything unrealistic. Number 4, talk and listen. All relationships have disagreement, and that's okay. What matters is how you talk and listen to one another. Listen to understand rather than listening to respond. Don't be afraid to express your emotions or vulnerabilities with people you trust. Number 5, let go of control. A lot of life is about how we react to our experiences and encounters. Knowing that you can only really control what you do and not what anyone else does will save you time and stress. Number 6, reflect and learn. If you have a healthy way of expressing your feelings, you're able to react to other people's in a healthy way. Being angry with someone often comes from a place of feeling hurt and upset. If you can recognize that, you will communicate it and build better relationships with others or your spouse. Reflect on the relationships that work best in your life? What qualities do these relationships have? And how can you bring these qualities into other relationships?
All right, yes, you're welcome back. Yes, those are the amazing tips on how to build, keep a healthy relationship. But yes, we have a guest, like I said, we have Michelle Tobias Adesanya in the building. And of course, we're talking about how to build, attract, and of course, sustain a healthy relationship. So, of course, because it's a 3-in-1, that is attraction first before the building and for the sustaining. So we'll start with the attraction. Now, a lot of people say in marriage, like distract, but when you're not opposite, now attract. Now, how do you attract? Because people say you attract your kind of person. Now they feel like if you're a playful person, you attract someone who's playful, but they are saying opposites attract. So there's a conflicting interest in that. So how do you attract your kind of person? Because I've heard a lot of people say opposites attract. But at the same time, when you see them and their spouse, they're almost like she likes to go out, he likes to go out. She likes to dance, he likes to dance. Maybe just a little bit of some difference. Maybe, okay, she's cool-headed, he's everywhere, you understand? So how can we attract our real person, the person that we feel is a to-go response anytime, any day?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a very important question because I often hear people say opposites attract and all of those things, which yes, has a bit of truth, but I would say that the most important thing is the values, right? So your values have to be clearly defined, and in having those values clearly formed, it becomes easier to attract the person who also has similar values with you. Right. So when we say that opposite attracts, sometimes it's usually related to personality types or personality differences. Like, for example, somebody who is calm will naturally gravitate to towards someone who has a bubbly personality. We just have that thing where we are attracted to something that we do not have. But what sustains that relationship or keeps that relationship, growing is the values, the sameness of the values and belief systems that they both have. That is very important.
Okay, so that means how about people who they are outgoing, they are not introverts, and they tell you, I can't marry an introvert. I have to marry someone who goes out there with me. I have to take for example some persons who do like PDA. And you end up with someone who do not like PDA. I feel like there's a starving there. I feel like if you are not probably careful, you might end up, let me put it this way, having a side chick. Because if your wife is all this, I don't want, or your husband is, I saw a trending skit where every time they are in the house, the husband, the boyfriend actually, is always, lovey-dovey with the wife, and the wife is that kind of person. But when the girlfriend comes out and they're working together, she tries to hold his hand, and he drops the hand, like, stop it, I don't like this outside. And one day it got to her, and while they were working, she saw the two couples, playing all of it of a PDA thing, and she asked him, excuse me, sir, please, is it wrong to actually play love in the house and you still want to do the same thing outside when you don't like it? Would you want it that your spouse doesn't know? Well, like, no. And he held the girlfriend hand and like, see, I'm doing this inside. I'm even doing, in fact, I might not even do it inside, but I will do it outside because I want people to know that this is my own. And she went back to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, why are you asking people? He said, because every time this is what you do. And she was like, if you're not proud of me, it means you and you can't do it inside. And when it gets outside, you say you don't like PDA. Because trust me, I believe everybody loves PDA. If you really love the person, you will be the PDA person because you want to show it off. So in that situation now, what do you think the supposedly spouse should do? Of course, they are still in a relationship, not yet married. What should they do so that they can be able to get married, and maybe when they get married, someone out there is showing her all the PDA, she doesn't just get attracted and start cheating on her husband?
Okay, so first thing is communication is very important. So they need to talk about this thing. Why is it that when we are in the house, you're all over me, but when we go outside, this is what is happening? Have that conversation, talk about it. Let's see what the issue is. And then when you're able to have, and communication, a communication that is effective, because there are sometimes that we are talking, but it is not effective communication. Everybody's just trying to hear
To
each
make a
other
point,
or make
yeah.
a point. But an effective communication where I am making a point, you're understanding my point, you're reasoning with me. And then when that effective communication is established, then compromise can now come in. Maybe the reason the person doesn't like PDA outside is because maybe they are just shy.
Okay.
You know, some people are like that. They don't like, public display of affection because it makes them cringe. So that could be the case. And that's why communication is important. So whoever the party is, come to that conversation with the aim to understand, not to make your point. So have that conversation because you want to understand why is it this way. Like this? And then from there, you see that it's not much of a big deal by the time you have that conversation.
I think I will agree with you because there was a time, I love PDA. I'm a PDA person, trust me, anytime. Even without even a relationship, if you're my friend, my darling, I'm showing the love, I'm showing everybody in the world that this is my friend and I do not joke with him or with her. Now, there's been a situation whereby he doesn't like PDA and I found it a big problem. I was like, I do not understand. In the house, you wouldn't allow me breathe. But when we are outside, you're always like, no, now people are looking at, which people? Do they know you?
Sometimes just conscious like that.
But you know one amazing thing, which you said is effective communication. I kept telling him, this is how I feel. This is what I want. And before time, it's now even me that is running away. I'm like, oh God, we're outside. Oh, now you're shy. So you understand? So I think it's true.
Because I love to tell people that when you're in a relationship with somebody, tell the person how you want to be loved. Sometimes people speak their own love language to you, what they understand as love to you. But you need to communicate to them. I like it when we go out and you hold my hands. I like it when you peck me. All of these things, say it to them without having to argue.
Yeah, exactly.
So important.
I totally agree with that. But now, because of this thing you said, there are some persons who have seen, who I know, they will tell you, and they always have that clash. And mostly, especially the guys. Though the ladies too have it, but I think because we are talkatives, basically, we tend to always find a way to tell them what we want. Now, for the man, they will feel like, how should I be telling her how to love me? She should find that out. She should know how to love me. And I'll be like, dude, she can't get into your head. What she's showing you is what she knows how to love. That is the best way she feels she can love someone. And maybe that is even her own love language. So it might take a longer time for her to learn how to love you. So if you really want her to really love you and you want it very fast, you want it in a better space, I think it's better you find a subtle way. You might not say it with words. You might find another way to tell her that, okay, this is how you want it. I don't know. Do you subscribe to that too?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So we're on the same page. Yeah. All right. So now we've attracted the kind of healthy relationship we want. There is a standard. How do you continue to build that relationship? Because trust me, when you start a relationship, I believe it's just like a seed and it has to turn into a tree which will bear fruit. You understand? So how can we build a healthy relationship without, of course, there'll be the ups and downs, but how do we make sure that we continually build a healthy relationship?
The one and very important thing to do is to invest in that relationship. So it's one thing to attract a person. Oh, you've attracted this kind of person, but you need to build that relationship by investing in that relationship. Your intentionality, like this is where the old love language and stuff come into play. Okay, this person, I love this person. How does this person want to be loved? What are the things I can do that will mean so much to this person? What are the things that they are building that matters to them where can I come in their lives? How can I contribute to their lives? Your contribution to them, your investments in them, your intentionality, making them know that you matter. Because sometimes people are in a relationship and they don't even know if I matter in this relationship, if this person really cares about me or this person loves me. And then there's that space where the person is confused. They don't really know. So being intentional about it, communicating as often as you can. Let them know that I love you. I am committed to you. I am intentional about you, because there are times when we can go through phases in a relationship where you start to, sometimes, especially as women, we're always in our head a lot. We're always in our head a lot. And So that assurance
Yeah.
is consistently needed to build that relationship. Okay, this is something I'm working on. This is something I love to do. Let's do it together. Let's build this together. Those kind of things. You are developing that relationship that way.
Okay, wow, building a relationship. Now, you said something about investment. Can you tell us the best ways you can actually, yeah, you mentioned something, but I want it to be more detailed so that people understand how best you can really, really invest in a relationship that I think the other partner, your partner would understand that, okay, this person is ready to build something with me.
So first thing is communication, right?
Okay.
That communication is important. And in terms of you always expressing yourself to
okay.
them, but it goes beyond just expressing yourself. It also goes into you not just talking, but showing.
Showing.
So you say, I love you. Then how do you love me? If you love me, there are certain things you will do for me. If you love me, you will not hurt me. If you love me, you will do the things that makes me happy, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa. Investing in a relationship, like for example, I have a business. I am building this particular business. And if you understand how it is when somebody is building something, either a vision or a business, you know that there is a part of them that goes into it. You can't be in a relationship with that kind of person and then you don't care. You are so nonchalant about it. All you care about is, oh, I love you. Let's go and see. Let's go on a date. But you've never taken out time to say, okay, this thing that you're working on, this idea that you're working on, how is it going? How can I contribute to this? It doesn't have to be money. It can be your presence. It can be an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I saw something that can help this business grow further or make this business go to the next level. Those little investments that you make, the time that you spend as well is another form of investment that you make into a relationship. Quality time with this person, the assurance that you give them that, okay, this person has got me. Like whatever the case may be, they've got me. So those are the ways you can invest in a relationship.
Investing. Whoa. That is why you see some persons, when it's now time for a breakup, okay, it's not like there's always a time for a breakup. I'm just saying, when there's a time for, because you have seen so much investment they've put into work, you find that, I don't know, I'm not saying suicide is the right thing. That's why you see some people be like, what again do I have? I just want to go. And that's not the way to go. Honestly, I know investment is very important, like she said, to have a healthy relationship. And see, when we're talking about relationship, we're not just even talking about marriage or relationship. Even in friendship, you have to show that you are there for the person. But anyways, we're still continuing to talk about how to build, how to attract, and how to sustain a healthy relationship. So we've talked about the attraction, we've talked about the building. We are still on the building, and of course, we'll be going over to the sustainability of a relationship. But before that, let's quickly take another tip just to take a breather, and of course, we'll come back to the studio to continue the program. But this tip is all about developing a positive relationship. Like we said, we don't want any negative vibe. It's all going to be positive, and it's all going to be, like she said, investment, communication. There's another word for it. It's not just communication, effective communication. Because sometimes you can be communicating and still you're not listening. But when it's effective, you're listening and you can definitely maybe do what the person is communicating with you. So let's quickly go for this tip on how to develop a positive relationship. I'll be right back into the studio to continue discussing with Michelle Toby Adesoya. We'll be right back.
It's tips for developing positive relationships. One of the most profound experiences we can have in our lives is the connection we have with other human beings. Positive and supportive relationships will help us to feel healthier, happier, and more satisfied with our lives. Here are a few tips to help you to develop more positive and healthy relationships in all areas of your life. Accept and celebrate differences. One of the biggest challenges we experience in relationships is that we are all different. We can perceive the world in many ways. Certainly, a stumbling block that we come across when we try to build relationships is a desire or an expectation that people will think like we do. And in this way, it is so much easier to create a rapport. Life, however, would be very dull if we were all the same. And while we may find it easier initially, the novelty of sameness soon would wear off. So accepting and celebrating that we are all different is a great starting point. Listen effectively. Listening is a crucial skill in boosting another person's self esteem, the silent form of flattery that makes people feel supported and valued. Listening and understanding what others communicate to us is the most important part of successful interaction and vice versa. In active listening, we also are genuinely interested in understanding what the other person is thinking, feeling, wanting, or what the message means. Give people your time. In a world where time is of the essence and we are trying to fit in more than one lifetime, we don't always have the time to give to our loved ones, friends, and work colleagues. Technology has somewhat eroded our ability to build real rapport, and we attempt to multitask by texting and talking at the same time. Being present in the time you give people is also important, so that when you are with someone, you are truly with someone and not dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. Develop your communication skills. Communication occurs when someone understands you, not just when you speak. One of the biggest dangers with communication is that we can work on the assumption that the other person has understood the message we are trying to get across. Poor communication in the workplace can lead to a culture of backstabbing and blame, which in turn can affect our stress levels, especially when we don't understand something or feel we have been misled. Manage mobile technology. By now, pretty much everyone has a mobile phone, and many people have two or more. While they are a lifesaver in an emergency and an effective tool for communication, they also can be a complete distraction when people exhibit a lack of mobile phone etiquette. Learn to give and take feedback. Feedback, in my opinion, is the food of progress, and while it may not always taste great, it can be very good for you. The ability to provide constructive feedback to others help them to tap into their personal potential and can help to forge positive and mutual beneficial relationships. Learn to trust more. Trust goes a long way for anybody. Develop empathy. Empathy and understanding builds connection between people. It is a state of perceiving and relating to another person's feelings and needs without blaming, giving advice, or trying to fix the situation. Empathy also means reading another person's inner state and interpreting it in a way that will help the other person and offer support and develop mutual trust.
Right, yes, you're welcome back. It's still watching Women's Corner, and of course, we are talking about how to build, how to attract, how to build, and how to sustain a healthy relationship. And like I said, we've been in the studio with Michelle Toby Adesoya, and she's been doing amazing and well with the topic. So yes, we're still talking about building. Now, a lot of people still believe in, let's move down a little bit to the Gen Z. It's more like a thing now that most Gen Z do not believe in building relationship. They do not have the idea. They just believe more in, like you said, what can you give me? What can you offer? You hear some persons, if you want to go for a date, you have to get me a dress, you have to get me the hair, you have to, my makeup and everything has to be ready, and all bills on the man. Now, this is because, imagine you starting a relationship that way. It means that invariably it's more the man that's gonna probably be investing. Excuse me, because I feel like if you could even think about that, it means in a relationship, anything you want to do, there'll be like a payment he has to make. Babe, I'm coming over to see you. Let me spend some time with you. Babe, send me transfer fee. That's what is going to end it. Oh, babe, I want us to eat something amazing today. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, babe, you can prepare whatever you want. But I think I need about 50K. So there's always this money thing that's going to be coming into it. Now, how can you advise the Gen Z right now? Because I feel like a lot of values are being lost in relationship as time goes on. And it is kind of building a kind of orientation for men right now. Even the millennials are also bagging into it, because when they feel like this is what is trending, everybody just wants to adjust. Like, okay, this is what it is. You hear some men tell you, if I don't have this certain amount of money, if I don't have this certain things in life, I cannot settle down. I cannot be this, I cannot be that. But usually that is not yes, it's part of it, but it's not really the core value what a marriage should stand for. So what advice will you give to the Gen Z that, they would understand that if you have to build a relationship, these are the things you have to let go of. Of course, some very young persons. What are the things that you think they have to let go of so that they can actually build and will be able to still have marriage, still having its value? Like when you hear I am married, you not just look at it like, okay, we're expecting the next 2 years to divorce. That's what a lot of people are looking at it now. Nobody's even looking at it that you're married. They're like, I hope you last 2 years. And before you know, obviously sometimes you see they are separated, and one thing or the other. So what advice will you give to the, younger women that should be able to build and sustain their relationship?
Okay. That's a very, very beautiful question, right? Because I've seen these things happen over and over again where people, I think that the value for selflessness and all of these things is gradually going into extinction because everybody's all about themselves. And I'll say that selflessness is a value that is still so important, regardless. Like, there has to be an element of you putting yourself, I'm not saying that your desires are not important, but then you have to be selfless enough to know that it's not just about me. And I think that the problem is that a lot of people are so transactional in their relationship. It's a give and take thing. And you cannot build a solid relationship that way. You cannot build a solid relationship if you're all about what I can get, what I can get all the time. So you have to rewire your mindset to begin to see what value can I bring to the table. I know that this question, what do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to the table? Yeah.
But it's actually very important. Like, what value do I bring to this person's life? And it's not just about what I can get, but what I can give.
Yeah.
This is so important because people run away from anyone that is just all about what they can get. Just about me, who is selfish and self-centered. So you have to be selfless. There's a level of selflessness that is required to build a relationship, and also mutual respect, understanding that, this person might not have everything that I want right now, but what are their core values? These are the things that will help this relationship to grow and become better. So it's not about, you see this whole thing about materialism is really eating into so many potential relationships, because you hear so many advice these days. Don't be an understanding girlfriend, understanding wife.
We have a lot of motivational speaker.
So a lot of young women right now, they don't want to be an understanding girlfriend. They don't want to, if you don't have anything to offer, I'm moving to the next person. And you realize that you are not building on the right foundation, right? Because there are much more important things. I know that, yes, it's important that, this person has to have something going for them and all of these things. But what is the most important thing is, what are their values, and does it align with mine? Your values need to be clearly defined, because if they're not clearly defined, you just go for anything that looks like it. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to relationships.
Oh, yes. Another thing I just realized now, a lot of mistake people make in their relationship is maybe the kind of friends they keep. What do you think now? Let me just put up some different examples and which one is better. Maybe none of it is even better. Okay, you you having a spouse. Let me take myself for example. I have a boyfriend, and my boyfriend has a bestie, and the bestie is a girl. And on the other hand, you're doing. On the other hand, I also have a bestie who is a boy, which is a man, obviously. So now that's one close. Now the second close is I have this one girlfriend, which of course is close to I and my boyfriend, and probably I tell her almost everything that goes on in my relationship, and she gives me some advice. Maybe she's even married. Or maybe she's married, so I'm not married. So she's probably in the best position to tell me what I need to do, to maintain a happy relationship before settling down. Now, that's one thing. There's a third party. Now, also, maybe he has a friend, which is a guy. And when he does something and I'm so freaked out, I do not want to have that communication with him because I'm so freaked out. I feel like I might say it wrongly. Then I call his boyfriend, which is his friend, and I tell him, see, this is what your friend is doing. Please call him to order. Now, let's just leave it at these three. Do you think any of these three is healthy in any way when it comes to helping to build or sustain a healthy relationship?
So I would say that it actually goes both ways. Now, this is what I mean. When it comes to building a relationship, a healthy relationship, it's important to have, as much as people say there's no need for a third party in that relationship. It's important to have like a voice of influence that can guide you and, show you. But in all of that, boundaries are so important. And I think this is where a lot of people are lacking. So yes, you are in a relationship, and then there's a friend who is also with you in that relationship or in that friendship and all of that. And then when there's an issue, you tell that friend, which sometimes, they might give you an advice or a counsel or something that can help you do better. But then there has to be a limit to these things, right? Boundaries have to be clearly defined so that people are not overstepping their boundaries and saying that, okay, since we are the three of us are in this relationship, I'm a stakeholder. No, you have to clearly define those boundaries. That yes, you're my friend or you're my husband's friend, but then when it comes to certain things, these are things that we should solve within ourselves. So when we have certain issues, it's not everything that happens in my relationship that a third party needs to know about. When I'm bringing in a third party, it has to be because it has gone beyond the two of us. And then we need like an external voice to come and meddle into the affair. But when it becomes a case where every single time there's an issue, somebody has to resolve that issue, then there's something wrong. And then the thing about bestie, male bestie, female bestie, I really don't advise that. Honestly, I don't.
It's a no-no for you.
It's a no-no.
Okay, so that means you only best friend you should have should be your spouse.
Yes.
That's what you
I mean, why not?
a lot of people, a lot of people will tell you, boy has been there, or she has been there, she's been my friend. Okay, now, let's assume someone has a bestie, right? And you go into a relationship, right? And the person tells you, I cannot deal you having a bestie as in an opposite partner. That means I'm a lady and I'm having a best friend as a man. And he's like, I am supposed to be your best friend. I'm supposed to be your man. Now in that situation, what do you do? Because to be honest, you do not want to throw away what you've had for years with that person. You want to maintain it, but at the same time, you have to respect what your spouse is saying. What do you think a partner should do at that point? Because you can't throw away a relationship. I don't know, a friendship of how many years? And you're starting a relationship, you do not know if you will take breakfast or you collect breakfast and you're going to drop it, you understand? So what do you think one can do at that point?
The simple answer to it is setting boundaries.
Okay.
Setting boundaries. Yeah, you can have, maybe it's your best friend, maybe you guys grew up together and all of those things. But then now you're in a relationship. It's a different ballgame entirely. So you need to set boundaries, and that person also has to respect boundaries. If they are truly your friend, if they truly want what is best for you, you don't even need to tell them.
They will just
a reasonable person will know that at this point, I think I need to step aside a bit, because how can I? So I'm in a relationship with you. I'm the lady, you are the guy, and then I have a male best friend. Anything happens to me or anything happens in my life right now, rather than telling you, I'm telling my best friend, oh, my best friend, this. And you'll feel left out.
Left out, distant.
Boundaries are just so important. Establish boundaries. Nobody is saying that you should cut off your friends because you're not in a relationship. That one is even unhealthy, right? So you don't have to cut off your friends and say, oh, I'm now with my man, so you guys should go. No, but you need to set boundaries and say that, okay, I'm in a relationship with this person, so there are certain things that I used to do before that I can no longer do, and I expect that you should understand that.
Okay, so my last question before we go is, okay, it's not like the last question, but yeah, the last question before, of course, the final wrap up is, we all know that to keep a woman, to maintain a lady involves finance. Trust me. But
I agree.
You agree, right? Okay, we're on the same page. Okay, so now, is it possible for a woman to actually, not even just a woman, for the young adults that we have now, is it possible? Is there any future that it's possible for them to go into a relationship and the person do not even have enough finance to cater for, for both of them extravagantly? Let me use that word. Okay. Yes. Is it possible? Because why I say so is how much a lot of women now want their men to invest in them. Now you are talking about investment communication. They don't send. They don't even care. What they care about is what you spend on me, how much time you spend on me. Those two things, time and money. Now, do you think there's a future for the men? Of course, it's not like the men are innocent. Do you understand? But is there a future for the men and for marriages and for relationship tomorrow, where women will not solely, not just women, let me use the young adults, will not solely depend on finances and just only time as the first or the core things they need to have or get from their spouse before they can even stay in a relation, like before they can even be attracted to you, before they can say they want to build anything with you, or they say they want to even sustain whatever relationship you have. Is it possible that there's a future like that for tomorrow?
Yes, it is. I believe that there are still people who have their values clearly, grounded. Because as much as money is important, we're not even going to deny that fact. Money is important, in a relationship. There are times that I think people need to understand seasons, to be honest. Understand that there are seasons in life where we might not have everything, but we have enough to sustain us. And understanding that can help that relationship. And then I'll say that also, you need to understand that this guy that I'm with, he might not have everything to give me, but does he have something tangible that he's building? Don't go and follow a man that's, for lack of a better word, is just, wasting away, doing nothing. And then you are now saying, oh, I have hope. There's no hope in that kind of relationship. Let me just be factual. There's no hope. But you know that this guy doesn't have so much, but he's intentional. He has something that he's building. He has a vision. He has a prospect. You can see that this guy is going somewhere. Then there's a hope for that. So because people need to really differentiate these things, because there are times when some people are blindly waiting and trusting and hoping that something is going to get, and there is no hope. There is nothing that is going to come out of this thing, because this guy is lazy. He doesn't do anything. He's not intentional about anything. He lacks character. So many things are there.
That's
and then,
a whole lot.
do you understand? And you're hoping that something is, no. When you see the signs that, okay, this guy's values are clearly defined. This guy is grounded. He knows what he's doing. He might not have everything now, but he's going somewhere. It might take a while, but you know that we are looking at the bigger picture. So I always say that, what is the bigger picture? What is the vision? You guys should sit down and have that conversation. When you have quality conversations with people, you know where they are headed. You can always know. So there is hope if, the person is already on the right track.
I trust me. I believe you. There is hope, but it's just so sad. I wish you could ask one more question, but no, because some persons will be like, "How do I know he's lazy?" But you've already mentioned some little things. You will know he's lazy. You will just know, even to maybe have his bath when he's. No, that looks like me shading the man, but it's true. When you feel like somebody's just at home and just to enter bathroom and have your bath, well, that's not the real lazy, but things like that should show you that he's lazy. Anyways, that's it. Anyway, I can't ask any more questions, because I know if we start now, you're going to continue and our time is already fast spent. But first, I would like to say thank you so much for coming to the studio. Thank you for giving us so much advice and for bringing it down to the level that everyone would understand exactly how to build, attract, and sustain a relationship. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much. But I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yes, I did. It was fun.
I forgot. I was supposed to ask you about maybe a personal story of one time when this happened, because sometimes people say I learn better from people's experiences. Like when you tell me a story, I tend to fix myself into it and learn faster. But of course, we have another time to still talk about relationship when it comes to building a healthy relationship. So thank you, my viewers, also for joining us. It's been an amazing one.
Tips to increase your value. Focus on your own growth. You have to be committed to your own personal development. Ask yourself truthfully if you're really committed to your own personal growth. If you are, keep at it and develop yourself every day. If you are not, you should start committing yourself to your own growth. Read, learn, get trained, take risk, do things that help you grow in wisdom, knowledge, understanding, relationship with people, the results you command, etc. Sharpen your skills. There is no human being without a skill. You need to discover your skills, after which you need to sharpen that skill. The only way to sharpen that skill is to put it into practice. Put into practice by using it as a point of value to other people. Skills are valuable. Work harder on yourself. Always strive to be better than you were yesterday. You need to go to work on yourself. If you change, everything will change for you. You may change companies. You might change tactics, strategies, or mentors. but you are always the constant and you will still be there. Strive to become a better person instead of comparing yourself with others. Set growth focused goals every year. One key to growth is to set goals. It would help if you had short-term and long-term goals. These goals can range from what you want to accomplish this month in your job to what you are striving to achieve long-term in your career. Follow your passion. Make sure you are doing what you love, and this may mean big change in your life, but embrace it and try to move forward. Remember, change can be a fool to amplify your journey. Sometimes your passion isn't actually your career and work life, that's fine. Just as long as you try to spend as much of your energy possible on things that you care about. Savor the enjoyment brought by things that you have a passion for. Self-care. Treat yourself well. Feel beautiful and be powerful. Get a manicure to treat your beautiful nails and give your confidence a boost of vitality and gorgeousness. Take time out of your day to look after yourself. And we know that you are busy. Taking care of yourself will mean you spend less time in pain, less anxious, and overall less sad. If you look after yourself, the rest will fall in place. Live a healthy lifestyle. Eat well and exercise. Doing so will give you the extra energy to do the things you love and to be the most beautiful, positive person you can be. Gotta love those endorphins. But this healthy lifestyle also means taking care of those nails too. So eat lots of berry fruit for your antioxidants and dark greens such as kale and spinach for enough iron and fiber.